We are here in the Flagship studio at JP Morgan, and I am joined on this stage for the first time by Jens Vogel, who recently joined Mirai Bio as president and COO. Jens, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Lindy.
Delighted. So Flagship launched Mirai last September, and you joined shortly thereafter. But the promise of Mirai is to deliver genetic medicines from promise to performance. What does that mean? Can you unpack that term for us?
Oh, absolutely. We believe that genetic medicines have huge revolutionary potential because when you look at conventional modalities like small molecules or large molecules, they usually just modulate disease with varying degrees of efficiency. With genetic medicines, we can actually go to the root cause of disease. Now, the issue is that we are just at the beginning of the curve with genetic medicines, and there are really major challenges to solve. The three major challenges are really delivery. How do you get the genetic medicine in the target tissue and the target cell types of interest? How do you optimize the cargo itself? And finally, the manufacturing piece. Mirai has actually created a machine learning-based platform that will enable us to tackle and solve all those three issues to really bring a variety of products to market and to the patients that desperately wait for them.
Terrific. And tell us a little bit more about the platform. We describe it as open. We talk about end-to-end. What do some of those terms mean, and how does that help you with your partners to deliver on the promise of these medicines?
Absolutely. So what we are doing in order to solve these challenges, we created a platform around a next generation lipid nanoparticles that are really very targeted. And how this works is that we created a high throughput chemistry platform and a high throughput formulation platform, as well as a high throughput cargo optimization platform. Now, with these high throughput systems, we can actually generate a large number of lipid nanoparticles with varying sizes, polydispersities, surface chemistries, chemistry of the ionizable lipid, and so on. So we can vary all those parameters. And then the trick is that we actually have a proprietary high-performance barcoding, which allows us to identify each of the different LNPs that are generated through our high throughput platform. We inject, let's say, 100 lipid nanoparticles all together in one non-human primate experiment. And then we can actually generate, therefore, the in vivo data, which is very close to what we would see in human, where we know exactly, or we can determine exactly which LNPs go where, and also whether they actually express their cargo or not. Now, all that data gets fed back into a data lake. Yeah. So we're generating really large data sets. And this is a problem that can really only be solved by machine learning and AI. This is the kind of problem that is made for AI, because what the machine intelligence does is now it's looking for patterns in the noise in these very complex data sets, and then from there suggests the next round of iterations and modifications to the LNP, so that in just 2 or 3 rounds we have seen that we can actually optimize delivery for a specific cell type by a factor of 5-fold or more, or maybe even 10-fold and beyond. And again, we are just at the beginning. And every experiment and also every project we do, the machine intelligence is going to get more powerful, and it will enable us to truly crack the code of delivery.
So this sounds incredible. You described 3 different platforms that you're bringing together in one. A lot of sophisticated machine intelligence. This is technology and sophistication that would take a company on its own quite a bit of capital and time and resources to build themselves. So tell me how you typically or would like to engage with partners. Do they come to you and say, Jens, we've got this cargo, we want to get it to a certain cell type? How does that work, and how would you optimally work with that company?
Exactly. So we are not a product development company at this point, but we are creating this platform as an open platform to really work with partners in the biotech and the pharma space to move products to patients together, jointly. And how this works is that we work with someone like a biotech company that understands disease biology for a specific indication and may have an initial cargo that they want to deliver to a specific cell type. Maybe that cell type has never been unlocked in terms of its delivery. We then basically do all the discovery of the genetic delivery vehicle, and as well as all the CMC aspects, including the manufacturing. We can also manufacture drug substance, as we are already doing, for example, for mRNA. And so we can actually shepherd a program like that from the early discovery stage all the way to commercial manufacturing, which basically brings speed and also de-risks these programs.
And as I understand it, the natural place for LNPs to go is the liver. So the next frontier is how do you get beyond the liver? Tell me about some of the tissues that you've already started to demonstrate progress in.
Yeah. So one of the areas that I'm very passionate about, and actually one of the things that brought me to Mirai, is cell therapy, the cell therapy space, whether it's oncology or autoimmune. Because, and I want to step back a little bit just so that you see where I'm coming from. I've been in this industry for 25 years now. I was very fortunate to be able to bring 10 products to market in the biologic space, and I've done something like 75 plus INDs. So it's been very fulfilling, but sometimes frustrating because you work for many years, finally you find a drug that works, and it might only increase median survival by a couple of months.
Yep.
Then we've seen just a couple of years ago with the advent of autologous CAR T products that if you use ex vivo gene therapy, which is basically what autologous cell therapy is, you are able to get extremely high response rates and very close to a cure in hematological cancers. We also know now that these therapies would be extremely valuable to treat autoimmune diseases. But they're extremely difficult to make. And so all the already approved autologous products together have already resulted in about 35,000 doses over a period of 7 years. Now contrast that with lupus, for example. In autoimmune lupus patients in the US, you have about 500,000 patients. So you can imagine you already have shortages where people are dying on waiting lists for autologous cell therapy in oncology. You cannot use that technology to really solve autoimmune. Allogeneic would be the next step, but we learned more recently that that is much harder than what people thought. So I really believe that what we have to do is we have to go in vivo. So we completely skip the very, very complex ex vivo cell manufacturing piece, and we engineer cells directly in vivo. And that's exactly what the Mirai platform allows us to do. So we have generated already very, very promising, actually I would say best-in-class T-cell delivery data, which shows that with a combination of the approach that I mentioned, plus a binder platform, we have two binder platforms, one conventional and one machine learning-based binder platform. With those, we can get about 80% delivery into T-cells, while we are at the same time detarget the liver by 1 order of magnitude. So that opens up a therapeutic window that provides a huge opportunity to ultimately provide patients with a cure.
So you are bringing deep expertise and passion to the role. Tell us what your focus will be for the next year.
So the next year will be very important, or this year will be a very important year for Mirai. What you will see is more partnerships. Right now we partner with 5 to 7 product development companies. We started, of course, working within our Flagship ecosystem, which provided a huge opportunity for us to learn. And that's why we already have experience working with partners to deliver tRNAs, mRNAs, DNAs, and also gene editors, so any kind of cargo. And what you'll see is that we actually will build on that now with also external partnerships, both with biotech companies and also big pharma. As a matter of fact, we are already working with one big pharma company that we haven't announced that partnership yet, but we are making good progress, and we are hoping to be able to talk about that soon. And we will get more data on the cell therapy, in vivo cell therapy proof of concepts, which will by itself drive more partnerships. And finally, you will see that we are starting to unlock cell types where nobody has gone before.
Neat. So a lot of energy for the year with a small company with great big promise. Thank you for joining us, Jens. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Lindy.